Welcome back, bandits. I'm Red Bandit, and the Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay part 2 just released. So in today's video, we're going to be going through this, and we're going to be analysing every small detail that we can find in this video. So I thought I'd try a different setup this time. I'm going to go through this live, and then we're going to have another analysis video later on today or tomorrow, whatever time it takes for me to break that down, and I'll upload that in better quality for you guys. So the first thing I noticed off the bat is, of course, stating the obvious, this is a battle going on this train. Arthur Morgan's been given the task to do something on this train, whether there's something of value. But what I wanted to point out first off the bat is the fact that this is how cutscenes will transition into gameplay seamlessly. As you can see, Arthur Morgan throws this guy off, and I want to pause it right here. I'm not sure exactly where we are, and as you can see, this is where it transitions into the gameplay seamlessly. Now, the first thing I want us to focus on is the mini-map. We can see there is the general telegraph shop that we saw in Red Dead Redemption 1. I believe that's a picture of an envelope, so maybe that's somewhere where we can mail people, we can pay off bounties, and so on and so forth. And just to the right of Arthur Morgan's player marker, we can see Arthur Morgan's horse is running alongside the train, trying to, of course, not abandon Arthur Morgan. That's something we're going to be able to instruct our horse to do. As Arthur Morgan runs along the train and grabs onto the roof, we can see there is 2 more enemies to take out along the train. But the next scene here is a beautiful showcase of just how cool these train heists are going to be. We're going to be able to run along the top of them, and I really like the way the gameplay transitions better than GTA 5. So the next scene right here is Arthur Morgan at a settlement, and we get our first glimpse of Gunplay. So definitely some bad stuff has gone down here, and as we can see, Arthur Morgan pulls out his rifle, shoots an enemy, and this seamlessly goes into gameplay again. Look at that guy's face. He's like, "Arthur? Is that you?" And as you can see here, we've got some more enemies up on the bridge, and Arthur Morgan tells everyone to scram. So we haven't got much of a glimpse yet at detailed gunplay, but it looks like this may be some sort of locomotive place or an oil factory that we're at right now as we speak. But this next shot right here is one of my favorites of throughout the whole gameplay itself. We can see Arthur Morgan here on top of a mountain. His horse has got a deer on the back that he's slung over, that he's obviously hunted. And take note of Arthur Morgan here as we transition through here. We can see he has a beard, and he's dressed in apparel that is suitable to the weather and the climate on top of this mountain. That's something Rockstar Games have confirmed that we will need to do throughout gameplay. As you can see, he's got his beard, and that's another thing. Arthur Morgan's beard has grown hair, something that is going to happen in game. You can see he's wearing his woolly clothing, he's leading his horse along here, something else we're going to be able to do in game. Next here we have another example of how gameplay can transition into a cutscene very seamlessly. As you can see, Arthur approaches the door, and someone bursts open the door and then confronts him with a rifle on the ground. And it's these kind of interactions to the game that are going to really excite me come gameplay. So that's the first part of the gameplay, the little teaser at the start out the way, as we transition more into the official gameplay. As you can see here, gameplay part 2. Next, another thing I really enjoy about this scene right here, Arthur Morgan has clearly been robbing, or he's been doing something wrong in this house. And something really cool is that he just slides down this roof and lands on his feet. You can see the rain in the distance, you can see the lights, the lighting effects, and along come 3 enemies saying, "Hold your horses." Again, gameplay transitioning into an element of gameplay we did never expect. And an explosion goes off in the background there, distracting the enemies for just the right amount of time for Arthur Morgan to then take cover and take advantage of the scenario. And that's something I'm going to be really excited to try out. I believe this scene we see right here is the scene that a lot of journalists have been seeing lately. We see the train coming along. Notice how all the gang members are marked on the map, and the train is marked with a yellow blip. This is, of course, a train heist that is going on right now, and we can get confirmation from that. There's the train coming in right here, and there we go. Just like the previews said that were released last week and the week before, Arthur Morgan is given the option to set off some TNT or detonators on the train track, and that's all we get so far from that train heist right there. So this is going to be a mission that we can do for our gang, our camp, something I'm going to be extremely excited about. We're actually in Lemoyne now, and Lemoyne is going to be one of the biggest areas in the game. It's basically home to Saint-Denis or Saint Denis, and as you can see, this is a bank heist going on there itself. The guard gets knocked out. But you can see there is some legal advisors in the background. There's definitely going to be a huge variety of buildings we can enter. And then it goes on to confirm this is a bank heist. As you can see, Arthur Morgan is raiding these drawers. You can see there's cash inside, and if you look on the mini-map, we can see that there is a total of 3 cash deposits that we can open up, marked there. Dutch is holding someone against the wall. That may be Dutch, it may be Bill Williamson. Wanted, dead or alive, which is really interesting. Maybe we could actually get captured and taken to prison in this one. A giant explosion goes off inside, and as you can see, Arthur Morgan's startled by that. And look at the interior of this building, guys. Doesn't this look just absolutely gorgeous? I really like this. This is definitely still the bank in Lemoyne, or St. Denis, or Saint Denis, however you want to pronounce it. And this is our first glimpse of heists that we will be able to perform in the game. As you can see, Arthur Morgan is smoking a cigarette. Is that confirming to us that that is going to be a feature in game? We will have to wait and see if that is the case. But you can see we have the girls there, and they start singing in the back of this carriage that they are going to Valentine. So that is confirmation of what is happening in this gameplay right here. A fellow rider riding past, and I can't help but notice how beautiful the lighting effects are in this game. Very beautiful indeed. Next we have some more train heist gameplay going on. Sadie Adler this time being a badass as she climbs on top of this locomotive. And of course then the next transition is Arthur Morgan raiding a carriage with his rifle. He shoots in the air to intimidate these guys, and that is going to be an option that we can do to get people to pay up their money or intimidate them more to make them more vulnerable to doing our demands, which I'm really excited about. Next up we have Arthur Morgan robbing a shop, and we get our first glimpse of how the reticle has changed. As you can see, the reticle looks a lot more different. We have a red dot to signify that this is an enemy that we can indeed shoot, and this is a gun store that he is robbing. Now we don't see a lot more of this other than the guy putting up his hands, and in the next shot we see Arthur Morgan robbing a house. Now if you look at the interaction menu, you can see that we can open and close the cabinet and inspect different elements of that itself. So of course we can steal different things, we can go through items, search for things that may be of good value, and see how much of it we can store inside our satchel. Now what is also interesting is the fact that the guy that we're robbing is asleep on the bed in the background. Did any of you guys notice that? That guy is asleep back there. And transitioning back to the gun store, gun stores are going to be robbable, people's houses are going to be robbable, trains, people's inventories as they walk through the street. Basically everything in this game is going to be stealable. It's been confirmed that you can do loan sharking in this game, give people your money, and if they don't pay up, you can beat them and get the money back off of them. And this house does indeed look very nice, I must say myself. The next shot we have here is Arthur Morgan with his horse, his trusty steed, hiking up this mountain. A beautiful shot there. Arthur Morgan is also smoking a cigarette, I believe. If you guys noticed that, then give yourself a pat on the back, and we can see a beautiful shot of the draw distance in the background and just get a sense of how beautiful the world is going to look and how empty at some times it can be without settlements and villages nearby. The next thing I thought was pretty cool is this very short clip right here of these guys doing a robbery on a stagecoach. Now take a look at their masks that they're wearing. Essentially they are just bags over their heads, and as you can see we are holding up these guards, and they look very similar to the guards that we saw in the bank robbery of Lemoyne. They're wearing slightly different hats, but the coats are very similar, so I'm starting to think that this may be linked to that itself. If you look on the carriage itself as well, you can see that it's a dispatch company, so of course there is some valuable goods inside this carriage that these guys want to get hold of. We then get a really awesome glimpse here of some of the gore and the euphoria physics that are going to be in the game as they shoot this enemy right here, and he slumps down like a bag of potatoes. But look at the enemies over in the background, guys. Do you notice anything significant about this? Well, this definitely looks like this is a Mexican gang. Now, is this confirming for the first time ever that we are going to indeed have Mexico in the game? Whether they're just a Mexican gang or whether Mexico is indeed in the game, we don't know just yet. But the thing I want to emphasize on more, of course, is the way this enemy dies and the way he flops to the ground. Definitely happy to know that the game is going to have better physics than GTA 5, that's for certain. We then have this really funny shot right here where he's like, did you enjoy stealing that? And Dutch goes on to say, which one? Implying that they've robbed them several times. The gang is definitely a ruthless one, no doubt about that. And the next shot we get here, I believe this is Blackwater, as we see some federal agents, indeed some federal agents walking down the street. You can see Blackwater hasn't changed a whole lot in the last 12 years or so since Red Dead Redemption 1, but it's definitely nice to be acknowledged and see some of that firsthand. Now this shot right here is really interesting because we can see that we are wanted, but we are an unknown suspect. Arthur Morgan is hiding, hence why on the minimap the lawman's logos are black. They don't know who they're searching for, and they don't know where Arthur Morgan is as he peeks round the corner here with his double-barreled shotgun. I must say this definitely looks like this may have been filmed in somewhere like the Tall Trees area, one of my favourite areas in Red Dead Redemption 1. So it's nice to know that now you can actually become an unknown suspect in this game. In GTA 5, have you ever killed someone out in the desert with a silenced pistol and been like, how did the police know where I was and who I was? Well, no more of that in Red Dead Redemption 2. As you can see here, the game goes on to emphasize that the lawman will investigate crime scenes, as we see this lawman here bending down and investigating a man that has just been shot. No doubt what had just occurred minutes ago with Arthur Morgan. The next shot that is of significance in my opinion is this shot right here where we see Arthur Morgan stealing a horse. As you can see, he chucks this guy off the back of the horse. He then becomes hunted by bounty hunters. That's right guys, no more will there just be categories such as wanted, not wanted, and when you're wanted the lawmen chase you down. This time you're going to be a suspect, an unknown suspect, and if you kill the lawmen or you go into unknown territory, they can send bounty hunters after you. And one thing I absolutely loved about this scene in particular is the way this guy dies when he is shot off of his horse. Definitely, like I say, reiterating the fact that the physics are going to be improved. You can see there is 2 bounty hunters after Arthur Morgan this time. He's stolen that horse, he got the bounty hunters after him, and they are signaled by red skulls on the map. Really awesome there, absolutely love that. Next we see Arthur Morgan entering a house, and the game tells us to be prepared for any unknown events that may occur. In this case, Arthur Morgan is caught off guard by these guys who tackle him to the ground and attempt to rob him. And this is going to be a scenario we need to definitely be prepared for. The fact that Arthur Morgan had a knife on him right here, as you can see, he stabs this guy. It's definitely a good preparation for this scenario. But take a look at Arthur Morgan's clothes as he stabs this guy. He gets a complete blood splatter up all over him. And this is definitely going to be a feature Rockstar Games have also confirmed. The fact that if we kill people, we can get their blood on our clothing. And therefore, if we go into town without washing that off, people will become suspicious of us. And of course, if we are an unknown suspect, as we saw just a minute ago, if we are found with blood on us, of course, putting 2 and 2 together, a good lawman will be able to tell that we are definitely the suspect they're looking for. As we can see here, we actually have different ammo for different revolvers. Look in the top right hand corner of the screen. One revolver has 6 rounds in the chamber, 42 in total, and the same with the other. And we see our first glimpse here of Deadeye as it has been improved. We can see that the carriage on the right has been shot and blasted apart by a bullet going through it. Bullet penetration very real in this game. There's a dead body on the floor besides it, and as you can see, Arthur Morgan just seamlessly pops and pops and pops these shots off as it transitioned into the little sneak peek we got yesterday of Arthur Morgan in a sepia tone with his 2 revolvers. Now he set down some sort of explosive, as you can see on the minimap right there, and as this carriage comes along, Arthur Morgan shoots that explosive and renders this carriage useless as they then progress on to rob it. We see Arthur Morgan using some deadeye, and something I've noticed is that deadeye this time makes your weapon fire a lot slower. We can see that Arthur Morgan has painted 3 targets on these enemies and it goes bang, bang, bang. But in Red Dead Redemption 1 it was more like a bang, bang, bang. It was a very quick transition there, but of course in Red Dead Redemption 2 this is going to be a lot more different, and I actually really am fond of that change. I kind of like that myself. As we can see here, this is Valentine. They've just left a robbery right here and a gunfight is about to ensue in the street. However, Rockstar Games go on in the gameplay trailer to explain how Deadeye will have different categories, this time showing off how we can actually see vital organs and vital hit areas on our enemies. As you can see, his brain, his chest, his heart, his liver, his stomach have all been lit up red. As you can see, pop some headshots off right here, some awesome gun work. We also see how we can have 2 pistols at one time, confirming that it's going to be like Max Payne 3. Arthur Morgan is holding a sawn off shotgun and a pistol at the same time. I am all for this change. I love the fact that we can change these weapons up, but we still haven't seen the notorious dive that's supposedly in the game as well. I believe this shot right here is either our first glimpse at Saint Denis or it's the rundown city of Van Horn. Horn. Now, I think it's going to be the Van Horn trading outpost. You can tell by the way the lighting is in the game and how nitty and gritty this area looks that this is probably most likely going to be Van Horn. You can see we have a beggar down there on the left on the minimap sitting against the wall, and there's an interaction menu for us to talk with him. And of course, Arthur Morgan agrees to that, and he places some money in this guy's hat. We can see down the street as well, and we can see some of the varieties of carriage. Look at some of these carriages and the different styles of them that we're going to be able to find in the game. Next, we have another shot here of this guy, Arthur Morgan, on the back of his horse. This time he's hunted a brand new animal. I can't say for sure what animal exactly that is. It definitely looks like some sort of exotic bird or some sort of leopard or something, with like a snow leopard perhaps, maybe the skin of a snow leopard. But as Arthur Morgan rides down the street here, we can see that this is the city, or the town, should we say, of Rhodes, because as you can see on the background on that silo, it does say Rhodes, confirming that this is going to be taking place there. And Arthur Morgan is dressed very awesome right here, looking very, very smart indeed. We can also buy food from restaurants, go ahead and eat that to keep our energy levels up, and we can choose what weapons at any time we want to have on us. It then goes to show a sneak peek of us taking a bath and some of the interactions we can have with some of the NPCs. Going on to explain that if we don't clean ourselves, this lady turns away from Arthur Morgan very quickly because of course he hasn't taken care of his apparel and the way he looks, and people are looking at him as if to say, you need to have a bath, sir. You definitely need to have a bath. Guys, right here, confirmation that boats are going to be usable in the game. A canoe right here, as we see Arthur Morgan using this canoe to get down the stream. This is something we've all been speculating for a very long time, and it has been confirmed. Boats are going to be in the game. We also see a quick glimpse here of some cattle rustling and herding up cattle, a mini game that we were able to do in Red Dead Redemption 1, and also another use of a vehicle here as we go along this bridge and get a nice glimpse of some of the scenery in the game. Definitely a beautiful world. We also see Arthur Morgan doing some fishing. You can see that there is some options there to control it. You can reel it in with the analog stick, and you can cut the line itself. So that's awesome. Fishing is going to be a very detailed mini game. Definitely not just standing there and waiting for a fish and pressing, you know, R2 or L2 to reel the line in. There's actually going to be skill and ability to this, where we need to move the rod to catch the fish effectively. We see Arthur Morgan playing poker. Definitely something a lot of you guys are going to be excited about. We also see Arthur Morgan having some drinks in a bar, and then we see Arthur Morgan having a dance at the campsite, chopping some wood and some various other activities that we can do, such as liar's dice, five-finger fillet, which a lot of you guys are going to be very excited about. And it goes on to explain that there is hidden and secret areas in the game and different NPCs that we can interact with. Look at the minimap right here, guys. Strangers and freaks return, indicated by that question mark. We can go and break up this fight as you see here, or choose how we want to tackle this situation as we see fit. Characters can grab onto us, beat us up, they can do absolutely anything. We can also go and see dancing and different events going on in the theatre. As you can see, we can cheer, we can antagonize the people that are actually playing on stage, and we can look at the dancers and focus on them, which is really, really awesome. The amount of detail coming into this game is immense. Confirmation once again, we can enter law areas like Jailhouse and the Law House and take down wanted posters and take place, that's right guys, in duels. As you can see here, Arthur Morgan shoots this guy right in the head. I don't know whether that's an exit wound we can see right there, but definitely, as you can see, the way this guy flops, definitely improvements on the Euphoria engine right there. Now, something really interesting about this is that Rockstar Games have confirmed that family members will remember you if you kill their family members as well. For instance, this lady is probably talking about her husband, her brother, whatever, maybe the father of this little child right here, and she calls him, well, you can go and watch it yourself because I'd probably get censored. But as you can see, a little child is confirmed in the game, and these are interactions that we can definitely have in the game if we kill people's family members. Arthur Morgan doesn't look too pleased about what he's done, and of course this is different examples of how we can shape how we want Arthur to be come October the 26th. Now, this is one of the most exciting parts of the gameplay, where it confirms that the entire game can be played in first person. Now look how amazing this looks, guys. So exciting as we pop, and pop ahead all of these guys in their head with headshots. Look how amazing this game looks in first person as Arthur Morgan busts down this door with his sawn-off shotgun, destroys that guy right there as smoke is spewing out of the barrel. This guy right here, Micah Bell, the assassin, comes in with 2 pistols, taking out 2 guys at once. And as you can see on the interaction menu down in the bottom right, we can steal things and take things as well. Really, really awesome. Micah Bell is going to be a badass character indeed. What do you guys think about that? Beautiful transitions here explaining how the world has so much variety in it. And I must agree that this game is shaping out to be something extremely beautiful. As you can see, even animals in the world will attack us. I am so excited about this game come October the 26th, guys. Let me know down below what part of this you are most excited about as well. And let me know down in the comment section what you found that I have missed. And I'll be sure to cover it in my next Red Dead Redemption 2 video where we break this down a little bit more in detail. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It's been kind of like a reaction analysis at the same time. I think it was really cool doing it live and going along with it as we went through. Let me know what you guys think down below, and of course, like I said, hit me up on Twitter or YouTube if you have anything you want me to feature in the next video. The next video will probably come up later today or tomorrow where we'll analyze some more of the details in depth and look at some of the things that you may have missed, and then throughout the week we'll be covering some of the different elements and varieties in the gameplay in different small videos so you guys can break these down, such as the gunplay, the mini games, and everything like that. Stay cool, stay awesome, guys, and I will see you in the next one very, very soon. Adios.